Start with the great name of Allah, the most merciful and kind. My name is Sohail Ahmad from the BACS 2K18 batch from the University of Sindh campus, Larkana. Today we are discussing about the topic on the computer architecture. This lecture is submitted to Sir Farhan Ali Suraya. So here are the concepts of the computer architectures. First is instruction cycle, second is multiprocessors, third is pipelining, and last is memory management. So these are the contents of the computer architecture. Today we are discussing about that. First, the multiprocessor. Multiprocessor system is an interconnection of two or more CPUs with memory and input-output equipment. The component that forms multiprocessor are CPUs, IOPS connected to input-output devices, and memory unit that may be partitioned into a number of separate modules. Multiprocessors are classified as multiple instruction stream, multiple data stream, like MIMD system, multiple instruction and multiple data, MIMD system. So here are the other question that why we choose multiprocessor. Here are the reasons that why we choose the multiprocessor. A single CPU can only go so fast. Use more than one CPU to improve performance. So multiple users, multiple applications, multitasks and application responses and are throughout. Share hardware between CPUs. So these are the benefits of the multiprocessor. So here are we discuss that what the difference between multiprocessor and multi-computer. Multiprocessor. A multiprocessor is a computer system with two or more central processing units. CPU share full access to a common RAM. The main objective of using a multiprocessor is boost the system execution speed with other objective being fault tolerance and application matching. So these are the difference of the multiprocessor. After that, multi-computer. A multi-computer system is a computer system with multiple processors. A multiple computer with the multiple processors that are connected together to solve a problem. Each processor has its own memory, and it is accessible by that particular processor, and those processors can communicate with each other via an interconnection network. After that, so we are discussing that pipelining. So what is pipelining? Pipelining is a process of accumulating instructions from the processor through a pipeline. It allows storing and executing instruction in an ordinary process. It is known as a pipeline processing. Pipelining is a technique where multiple instructions are overlapped during execution. Pipeline is divided into its states, and these states are connected with one another to form a pipe-like structure. Instructions enter from one end, exit from another end. In pipeline system, the register is used to hold data and combinational circuit performs operation on it. So here are the type of the pipelines. Pipeline divided in two parts or two categories: arithmetic pipeline and instruction pipeline. First, arithmetic pipeline. Arithmetic pipelines are usually found in most of computers. They are used for floating point operation, multiplication of fixed point number, etc. The floating point addition and subtraction is done in four parts. First is compare the exponents, align the matrices, add or subtract matrices, and produce the results. So these are the four parts of floating uh, arithmetic pipeline. So here are other type of the instruction pipeline. Instruction pipeline in this stream of instructions can be executed by the overlapping uh, first fetch, decode, and executed phases of an instruction cycle. This type of technique is used to increase the throughput of the computer system. In instructions pipeline, read instruction from the memory while previous instructions are being executed in other segments of the pipeline. Thus, we can execute multiple instructions simultaneously. The pipeline will be more efficient if the instruction cycle is divided into segments of the equal durations. After that, the advantage of pipelining. First is the cycle time of processors is reduced. It increases the throughput of the system. It makes the system stable. These are the advantages of pipelining. Disadvantages of pipelining. The design of the pipeline processor is complex and costly to manufacture. The instructions latency is more. These are the disadvantages of pipelining. After that, we discuss about the memory management. Memory management. Memory management is the process of controlling and coordinating system memory, assigning portions known as block to various running programs to optimize the overall performance of the system. It is most important function of an operating system that manages primary memory. This manage primary memory. It helps process to move back and forward between the main memory and execution disk. It helps OS to keep track of every memory location, irrespective of whether it is allocated to some process or it remains free. So why use the memory management? Here are the reasons. It allows you to check how much memory needs to be allocated to processors that decided which processor should get memory at what time. Second is track whenever inventory gets freed or allocated according to it will update the status. Third is it allocated the space to application routines. For the it also makes sure that these applications do not interfere with each other. Last is it places the program in memory so that memory is utilized to its full extent. So these are the benefits of the memory management. That's why we use the memory management. So here are the memory management techniques. First is single contiguous allocation. It is easiest memory management technique. In this method, all type of computer memory except a small portion which is reserved for the OS is available for one of application. For example, MS-DOS operating system allocates memory in this way. An embedded system also run on a single application. Second is portion allocation. It divides primary memory into various memory portions, which is mostly contiguous areas of memory. So third is page memory management. This method divided the computer main memory into fixed size units known as page frames. This hardware memory management unit maps page into frame which should be allocated on the page basis. Fourth is segmented memory management. Segmented memory is only memory management method that does not provide the user program with a linear and contiguous address space. It contains the physical address of the section in memory, size and other data like access, protection, bits and status. So after the memory management, we discuss about the memory swapping. Swapping is a method in which process should be swapped temporarily from the main memory to the backing store. It will be later brought back into the memory for the continued execution. Backing store is a hard disk or some other secondary storage that should be big enough in order to accommodate copies of all memory images for the users. It is also capable of offering direct access to these memory images. Benefit of swapping. It offers a higher degree of multi-programming. It helps you get better utilization of memory. minimum wastage of CPU time on completion on it, so can be easily be applied to a priority based scheduling method, improve its performance. It allows dynamic reallocation. For example, if address binding at execution time is being used, then processor can be swapped in different locations. Else, in case of compile and load time bindings, processor should move to the same location. So these are the benefits of memory swapping. After the last is instruction cycle. Fetch cycle. First is fetch cycle. The beginning of the fetch cycle, the address of the next instruction to be executed is in the program counter, like PC. The first step of the fetch cycle, the address in the program counter is moved to the memory register MAR as the only which is connected address lines of the system bus. The second step of the fetch cycle is the address in MAR in place on the address bus. Now the control unit issue the read command on the control bus. The third step, the content of the MBR is moved to the instruction cycle, IR, instruction cycle. After that, the indirect cycle. Once an instruction is fetched, the next step is to fetch source code. Source operand is fetched by the indirect addressing. It can be fetched by an addressing mode, and here it's done by the indirect addressing. Registered based operand need to be fetched. Once the OP code is executed, a similar process may be needed to store the result in the main memory. A first step of indirect cycle, this address field of the instruction is transferred to MAR. This is used to the fetch address of the operand. The second step, the address field of the IR is updated from the MBR, so it now contains a direct addressing rather than indirect addressing. Third step, the IR is now the state is if indirect addressing has not been occurred. After that, the interrupt cycle. The completion of the execution cycle, a test is made determined whether any enabled interrupt has occurred or not. If an enabled interrupt has occurred, then interrupt cycle occurs. The nature of cycle varies greatly one machine to another. One machine to another. So for say about the interrupt cycle, the contents of the PC is transferred to the MBR so they can be saved for return. The second step, the MAR is loaded with the address at which the contents of the PC are saved. The PC is loaded with the addressing of the start of the interrupt processing routines. The third step, MBR containing the old value of PC is stored in the memory. The last is the execute cycle. The other three cycles, fetch, indirect, interrupt, are simple and predictable, each of them requiring simple, small, and fixed sequence of micro operations. In each of same micro operations are repeated each time around. The first step of the execute cycle, the address portion of IR is loaded into the MAR. The second is the address field of the IR updated from the MBR. So the reference memory location is read. The third is now the contents of IR and MBR are added by the ALU. So thank you.